What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. This is episode number 70. 70? Yeah, I said that right. 70. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
I'm your host, Tonage Scorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
Um, we got quite a bit to talk about it today, I believe. Just as a heads up, I just woke up, so, still on I'm on spring break this week, so my sleep schedule is quite different.
Yeah, that's how that happens.
Yeah. Oh, by quite different, I mean completely fucked.
Yeah, you got to get that fixed
Yeah,
before you come back.
that 8 a.m. class is gonna be brutal. Um, but yeah, so I guess we could start off with what we've been hearing about, like do like a quick little XDefiant update. I'll let the XDefiant aficionado Deception take the lead on that one real quick.
Well, I mean, initially, uh, it was sort of looking good, and now we don't know if it's looking that great anymore because, uh, like late last week, like into the weekend, there was actually a rumor going around that XDefiant would probably go up for pre-orders for like early access for the special editions they're probably going to sell of the game on March 30th, and that anybody who had early access would get to play it on March 31st. But for everybody that just wanted to play the free to play version, it would go up on April 4th. And while I do believe that is probably still on the table, I wouldn't rule that out. It has looked increasingly more bleak thanks to Tom Henderson and a couple other people reporting that it might be a little longer before we get to see this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were saying it was supposed to release in um February actually.
Yeah, Tom
Um
said that if everything would have went accordingly and whatever's happening hadn't have happened, it would have released the last week of February, and that would have lined up with everything that happened. It would have lined up with like the achievements coming to the game, all the stuff that got put in Ubisoft Connect, like, and it would have even lined up with the rumblings that were happening in January.
mhm. But something happened. We don't know what exactly, and it kind of like pushed back. So we'll have to keep waiting.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem because I mean, I don't know what Tom knows. I assume maybe he either knows more now than he did before, because he said he couldn't comment on it before the last time he talked about it. But he either knows more now or he's waiting to gather more information
Mhm.
and then report on it. But he said that he would report on it by the end of the month. So I guess we'll maybe find out what's going on then if we don't get something from Mark before. But like, apparently something has happened that is pushing this game back even further, because the last updates that we got were that everything was all good and all the fixes that they made had been implemented and that the game was ready to go. And we don't have the game yet. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a waiting game again. So from what it seems, this like game would have been released like 3 or 4 times by now, but they keep coming into problems,
Yeah,
making it so
it's
they
kind
can't.
of like it's kind of sad, and like honestly, like I've said it before, but I'll say it again, like if they announce that if it doesn't release like within April, like if their next announcement is that it's getting pushed back and it might be a while before we hear anything, rather than, oh, we didn't hit our March window, but we'll put it out on this date and it's
Mm-hmm.
up for pre-order right now. Like if they give us like if they give us the, oh, like um we had to push the game back a little bit further, I'll be a little bit concerned,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not really going to be concerned for them scrapping the game. A lot of people have like tossed around like that they could probably scrap the game. I don't think that would happen. The game has been in the public for way too long, and people have had their hands on it. Like Ubisoft has put way too much into this. They made this whole team for this game. I don't think that they would scrap this game right before
Mm-mm.
launch. Like if they would have scrapped this game, it would have been like before the beta came out. Like I don't think they would scrap it. It's just it looks really bad considering the game was supposed to launch in late summer, like late August, early September ish, is what everybody was projecting. And then they missed their submission date because of some stuff that was happening. And Mark said like, "Oh, we got the submissions in now, so it should be like a month." And we were looking at end of September, early October. Well, we had that playtest, and judging by what Mark said later, after the game got delayed, it probably would have released late September, early October. Now the game technically got delayed. They had to fix some things because that playtest went awry, and they apparently fixed those things, which would have made it a late February release. And we still don't have the game. So it's looking really weird right now.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be a wild one for this waiting game that we've been playing. Um, what was I saying? I was saying something. Hold on, guys. My brain hasn't like started yet. Um,
Yeah, you can still hear the gears turning.
yeah, they're working for sure.
I don't know. This game is just like
I don't know, man.
I hope a lot of people don't give up on the game, but like at this point, it will be a little concerning if they announce like that it's getting pushed back further.
I think
Um,
my personal opinion is I feel like the game at launch is gonna be not as hype as it would have been if they released it in like September, right?
I feel like if they released it in like late February, or even if they end up releasing it this month, I think we'll still have that hype. But
I
if
think
we have to wait till May, June, July, like I think it'll go a little down from like what we were expecting.
yeah, but I feel like after like a month or two of the game being out and COD being shit, um, putting it lightly, then then people will be like looking for new things to play, and XDefiant will be able to be like, it'll be out and it'll be there. Um,
Yeah, and that would have been really great if they dropped it in late February because that was like right when all the skill based matchmaking stuff was happening, and like everybody like at least everybody's consensus was that COD was just sort of like pulling our leg about skill based matchmaking and whatever.
yeah,
Like it would have been great for X Defiant to just launch and be like, "Hey, here's a game with no skill based matchmaking."
it, it would have been perfect, but I mean, there really is there's no like perfect time, I guess, to release a game. I mean there is, but not for
I still
XDefiant.
think that like even if they don't get it out in March, if they got it out in like April or May, I still think they would be pretty good. Um, But I feel like at this point it's a lot more like worried about how many people are gonna like remember the game to come play it than them competing with COD. Because
Mm-hmm.
any time in the next like 4 or 5 months is still a good window to release the game because of how COD's like cycle works. But at this point I think it's like managing the hype for the game at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Because I do think that unless they give us some shocking announcement, I do think that it will release well before the new COD comes out. But it's
Mm.
just like when.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't
Like at this point, I'm done trying to make predictions because I've made like
know.
3 or 4 of them, and
And you would have been
none of them
right.
have worked out.
You would have been right if they
I would have been
actually
right on like every one of them too. That's crazy.
if they actually released the game. But alas,
I
they
would have been
haven't.
right on every one of them.
Um,
But I'm not gonna make a prediction because I feel like I'm jinxing them at this point.
yeah. We're just gonna be your way in, like the little good girls we are. And that's that. So this is something I kind of wanted to talk about. Moving on from XDefiant. Um, it's Moist Critical the other day voiced his frustrations with the U.S. Immigration Office and the difficulties for esports teams to get their players proper visas, even with a high-ranking EA rep, international tournaments placements, and notoriety. He is unable to get his team to the U.S. And I feel like this is something that people don't talk about a lot in gaming, because in order to live and work in a different country, you need to get a visa, right? You get like a working visa. Um, like if say you were to go to school overseas, you have to get an education visa, or like I don't know, I don't think that's what it's called, but um, something like that.
That
And
sounds like what it should be called at
yeah, I
least.
know, I don't know, something like that. And then to be able to learn in a different country because you're not technically a resident, but you'll be living
Yeah.
there for an extended period of time. So you have to do the same thing with gaming because, like, like illegal immigration and all that stuff, because these people will be living and working in the United States, therefore taking like tax dollars and blah, 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 blah. All that fun paperwork bullshit.
Yeah,
And
and apparently it takes like months for this to get done.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I've heard that it takes like
Oh, yeah.
6 months for you to get a visa, and it's like,
The,
bro, like
the
if you
UN,
don't get on the ball as a COD player like before the off season starts, like you might not make the next
you might
season.
as well just like, you might as well just fucking move to fucking the US. Get a little whatever.
Dude, and that's the hard part is it's like you have to at that point it's like, do I move to the US and hope that this whole COD thing works out? Because I mean, with the CDL, it's like who knows if you're even gonna stay on the team or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or do I because and even then it's like if you're away from home and you're like not with your family, you're not in like the most stable condition like financially because you're like in the US like or whatever. And it's just like there's so many things that make this visa situation just really bad.
Yeah, and the U.S. Immigration Office it's so bad. It's so bad. I
Yeah.
mean, and it only has gotten
I've heard
worse.
nothing but nightmares from anybody trying to get a visa.
Yeah,
Not just people that play video games like, bro.
and like it's like, and not even just visas, but like a green card or like to be able to come over here from another country or
I've heard
like
that even getting passports has been getting increasingly more
yeah,
difficult.
passports, and then there's citizenships of people that are wanting to come over to the United States, but and do it the right way, quote unquote, the right way, and they can't even get their citizenships because it's so like bogged down. And I don't even think it's like because it's like a high influx of people. I think it's just so complicated. They've made it so extremely difficult to get into the United States and work in the United States that it's just like, these things are so frustrating because like, these the CDL and everything, they are like an actual company. They're registered with the United States, so therefore they have to follow United States laws on employment and paying people a certain thing. Like, yeah, they have to follow all these rules, right? And
Yeah.
part of following all these rules is to make sure that everyone that works in the United States has the proper visas, and um same thing with like Moist Critical. If you want your players to play in the United States, you have to have proper visas.
Yeah.
Um,
And I guess you also have to question, like, I mean, obviously, this is probably not indicative of like every single esports team that tries to get visas for players, but you also have to question like how good people are at actually getting visas. Like, are these people like actually on the ball trying to get visas, or are they like stalling? Like, do they not know what to do? Do they not know how to do it? Like, because it's stuff like the Ravens are struggling really bad to get Real a visa.
mhm.
Like, and they've struggled for like months now.
I
But
feel like
like, yet Heretics has freaking 5 players now with visas. It was just like it was just easy peasy for them to just shell out visas and bring their players over.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That's not our thing, right? So when it comes to I'm giving you the overview from travel.state.gov, right? For what a temporary work visa is. A citizen
Hmm.
of a foreign country who wishes to work in the United States must first get the right visa. If the employment is for a fixed period of the applicant can apply for a temporary employment visa. There are 11 temporary worker visa categories. Most applicants for temporary worker visas must have an approved petition. The prospective employer must file the petition on behalf of the applicant. U.S. citizenship and immigration services reviews the petition. So the employer, so the worker has to send an application, and then the employer has to send in a petition on behalf of the applicant, and then it has to get reviewed and approved. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing is we don't know the timetables for all of this. So it's
No.
like, is it really on the people? Like, we don't truly know if it's like on the people that are doing the actual like confirmation and like the people that are handling the visa. Like it could be completely on the people
Yeah.
doing the petition and the person trying to get the visa. Like, who knows?
Yeah. So there's like, first of all, there's so many different kinds of visa categories. Holy shit. Um, and they're labeled like H2, H1B1, like P1.
I assume those are like probably like priority levels. Like if you have like obviously like I have no idea how it works, but I assume if you have one, you're probably prioritized over people who have another one.
Yeah. So I'm assuming P1, which is here. Let me pull this up for y'all. Okay. I'm assuming P1, individual or team athlete or member of an entertainment group, is one that is for um, either like the P's are for gaming, right? P1, P2, P3. You can't really see P3, but there you go. And it's for applicants performing. Oh fuck! I read the wrong one. For applicants who are recognized athletes or members of an entertainment/sports group, they must perform at a specific athletic competition or entertainment performance. Includes persons providing essential services in support of the above individual.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
probably that might
assuming
be the one they go for.
that's the one. I'm assuming. So, but yeah, I don't know. So like the P's is where the gaming world is, I believe.
I just wonder like if they even use the P ones though, because it's like there's some people like I mean I guess you could technically try to get a visa for almost anything, but like I wonder if they try to use one of these or like if it doesn't work, they try to go for like an easier one.
I think.
Because they could probably do like a temporary work visa and maybe it'd
Mm-mm.
be easier than this.
See, the thing is like you have to be like the U.S. is so specific. They are so specific on the things that you need and the red crosses that like the red tape that you have to like get your way through. Cause like when I apply for my financial aid every year, I apply for like a dependency override, right? Because my parents kicked me out, and the amount of things that I have to send them, it's months long process just for me to get financial aid for school, right? That's for just financial aid for school. This is not talking like, people coming into the country,
Yeah, this is not talking about people coming from another country.
which I would feel like would take longer. Um,
Yeah.
because they have to like cover everything. They need all my financial records. They need to know where every single penny I've made went. They need my taxes from like 2 years of taxes. They need they needed to like confirm that my dad was dead. Um, because I told them, I'm like, my mom kicked me out. And they're like, what about your dad? I'm like, he's dead. And they're like, do you have proof? I'm like, what, do I have proof? Do you want me to pull up to the
I
financial?
mean, it kind of makes sense because
It
I'm sure
makes,
like some people come
yeah.
trying to like fake it, but it's like I I don't think that sometimes people in those positions like understand like how either difficult and or time consuming it is to like get that stuff.
Cause like I
Because like
don't
they can just sit there behind the desk and ask you to do all this stuff, but like you have to go out and do it, and it's probably like really hard.
like I don't have my dad's death certificate. Like my parents were divorced. Like when my parents died, like my dad died. Like my parents were divorced my entire life. Like I had to like
Yeah, it's like you didn't really even know this guy, and now you have to get his death certificate.
well,
Like
like I
what?
knew him. He was my dad. Like I saw him like once a month, but like my grandma has his death certificate and I don't talk to her because she doesn't talk to me. Um but so I was just like, well, can I send you like his obituary? And they're like, sure. And so I went online, I typed in my dad's name and obituary, and then I screenshot it and I emailed it to them.
I mean, if they accept that, I guess that works.
It worked, yeah. They're like, we just need proof. I'm like, well, this is my dad. We have the same last name. We look alike because we have the same genetics. I have his ashes in my room. I don't know what other proof you need. Like,
You just take the ashes in there. You're like, here you
here you go. This is my dad. It literally has his name engraved on it. So,
go. That is kind of funny though that they were like they asked for proof and they probably like suggested the death certificate,
yeah, I'm like,
but
I
then
don't.
like you were just like I can send an obituary and they're like okay that's fine.
Yeah, they were like,
It's like
well,
you could have just told me that.
yeah, literally. Well, they're like death certificate. I'm like, I don't have that. Like, I don't. Like, that is not something that would be easily obtainable for me either. Because I'd have to, one, contact my grandma who I haven't spoken to in like 5 years.
Yeah, it's like who knows if she'll even want to talk to you.
Yeah, well, she will because she's one of those people. She'll do it for show. Like if I did, if there's a way, there's a way I could do it. But anyway, I'm not gonna go into that. But like I'd have to contact her, be like, hey, like I need my dad's death certificate for school. Be like, but I'd have to like be like, hi, grandma, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're like feeling good and like all this stuff. And I was just wondering, if we could like meet up sometime and like catch up. And then I'd have to like catch up with her and then be like, hey, like, is there any way that I could get dad's death certificate? I need it for school. And then hopefully she'll be old enough to not realize that that's the entire reason I was talking to her. Because I really, like, that's a whole situation that I don't want to get into.
Yeah,
She hasn't, like, she literally, not a single birthday card ever in my life. Ever. I have not seen, like, I saw her 5 years ago at my dad's wake, and then nothing for 12 years before that. So, anyway. Oh well. Um, but yeah, so then I like it's just there's so much red tape that you gotta like cross through. Like I had to fill out the specific form. Um I had to write like a statement. I had to get a professional that I told my statement to, who could like had like professional status enough to approve my statement. And then they had to write a form and send it, like they had to write a statement and send it in approving my statement. It was this whole thing. It was months long. I started this project. Started this process in like October, and I didn't. It wasn't approved until April, and this
my
was
lord.
yeah. That's how long this process took. So that was last year. Yeah, it wasn't approved until I didn't think it was approved until May. Like I think I was home. Like the semester was over, and it was approved. That's how long this process took. So if that's how long the financial aid process takes for a college student that is a US citizen, I can't imagine what it's like for the business world with these visas.
Dude, and imagine if you were getting a visa to come to the U.S. for college. You had to get a visa and go through all that, then go through all this.
I know. I'm Biffy fucked, man. Jeez. Well, now that I've done it once, it's like, they have all my stuff on file, so like I can just like keep reusing that. But like
Yeah.
the first
Dude, but
time,
what's crazy is like I can't say this for certain because obviously I've never personally like tried to do it. But I would assume that for like 90% of other countries, if you wanted to go to another country for college, it probably wouldn't be this difficult.
no, it's not. It's not. I have friends that have like studied abroad, and like my sister studied abroad in Ireland. Super easy. Like the main problem that she came across was like a couple of her credits didn't transfer. Like that was her main issue.
Yeah, I imagine that's the least of your
Yeah.
problems.
So,
Couldn't be somebody in the U.S.
no. I mean, like, obviously, like, schools have, like, you know, credibility and stuff like that, too. So, like, I don't know. It's just, and gaming, it's still new, and people are like, well, like, is this guy, like, a good person? They're like, I don't know. He's, like, 18 years old. I don't know if he's a good person or not.
I just know he's really good at
I
the
just
game.
know he's really good at Call of Duty. And they're like, okay, well, we need to vouch that he's not gonna murder people. Um, and
Dude, I
then they
didn't
do
even
it bad.
realize how big like college COD is.
Dude, College Code is huge.
I literally like I was because I follow them on Twitter, but I don't ever look at their tweets. And
Mm-hmm.
one of their tweets came up on my page, and it was like they listed like the top 25 U.S. teams. And I was like, bro, there are more than 25.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I want to get my college into COD, but we don't have enough
And what's
people.
crazy is a college that literally is like a college that is well, it's closer to me than any other college, but it's way closer to Erica than it is to me. But anyways, a college that's like close is like between me and Erica is like ranked 6th, so they're like really good.
Oh shit! I know where y'all kids are going, so
I just think that's crazy because I saw that and I was like, wait, there are more than 25 of
yeah.
these teams. I thought there was only like probably like 12 or 16.
The college like gaming circuit is pretty like underground. Like you have to
Dude, but
be.
it's growing.
It is growing. You have to be in
Because
it
I
to
remember
know.
like I did like a back when I was a senior in high school, I did like a presentation on esports, and I was even like, because the teacher wanted me to tie all of the stuff into like school, and I was looking at like that was when like people started doing high school and college teams,
Mm-hmm.
like that was when like the first like college like League of Legends teams and like CS teams and stuff like that started.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember when that stuff was starting and it was crazy because everybody was like, "Oh, this is the first team to ever have like the first college to ever have a League of Legends team and all that." I'm like, "Bruh." Now it's just like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Now there's like there was I don't even think there were any college COD teams and now there's like more than 25. I'm like, "Dude,
More than 25. Yeah, my apparently my college had one a couple years ago, but they all graduated. That's the problem with college esports is like, you know, it's a very niche thing. So it's very hard
yeah,
to find people. And so
that is true, but I feel like for bigger colleges, especially, it probably wouldn't be that difficult."
no, I mean you just got to
And
get the
also
people out of the
because it's
woodwork.
like you only have like well, I assume they hire subs, but you only have to play like depending on the esport like 4 or 5 people. So it's not like you have to have a 12-man basketball team available at all times.
It's true, but if you want to compete in like multiple, like my esports club right now, for context, I go to a school in a town where our student body doubles the size of like it is like the same size as like the townies population. So when we come into town, the population doubles, right?
Dude, you have the same size. My school like had like 5 times my population in
Yeah.
my town.
Well, yeah, that's just because you live in bumfuck nowhere. All right. Um. So
I
like
gotta do.
it's like average attendance, right, is like 5,000, right? But attendance is down in colleges, by the way, because it's so expensive to attend colleges. So it's like 4,000
Yeah, that
now.
makes sense.
It's around like 4,000 now.
My school had like 5,000 too. We're on par
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah. So that's about how many students go to my school, right? And so the esports club, it's about 3 or 4 years old, right?
Man, 3 or 4 years old. That's probably older than a lot of esports
Yeah,
clubs at this rate.
but we like it's technically like a year. It's like 2 years old because the previous president, not the one that's president right now, the one that was president before, he like let it go to shit. Um, so the president
Yeah,
now,
let's not do that again.
yeah, the president now had to like revamp the entire thing. Um, so it's a brand new thing now.
Well, at least they wanted to revamp it. They could have just scrapped it. Be like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah, so our Discord has 81 members, right? That is including alumni, um, future people going to our school, which is quite a lot. Because we've been doing a lot of like admittance days and like stuff like that, where they like to like try
You're
to get,
basically just recruiting the next generation of
yeah,
college esports players.
yeah, pretty much. And they're the most active is the people that are not in their school. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I mean, they're probably so active because they want to get. They want to make a good impression. They want to. They want to be there.
yeah, that's what I want. We have one Overwatch team. We have uh one Street Fighter player who competes in the league that we have for our college. And then that's it. And then we have a Mario Kart team in the works. They're currently training because none of them actually know how to play Mario Kart that well. So they're all training, and then next semester they'll be competing.
Dude, let me be on the Mario Kart team. I'd smoke everybody.
Yeah,
Dude, I would literally I'd probably beat everybody that's on your team.
probably.
I'm like the greatest Mario Kart Wii player of all time. That's like my version of Dr. Disrespect being the 2-time Blockbuster video game champion. I'm the greatest Mario Kart Wii player you've never heard of.
And then last semester we had a Valorant girls Valorant team that I was on, which is really cool. That's something that we're really pushing. It's like the like female gaming side of things, because that's what the wave is on our campus. Actually, like most of our signups are not guys; they're female presenting people. So
That's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Because I figure like a lot of guys, especially guys that like go to smaller colleges, are not. It's not that they're not invested in bigger things because they're going to small college. It's like I just figured they would have those kind of hobbies and they would just be like, "Oh, there's like you could play it professionally. Okay, cool. I'll sign up."
Well, a lot of people don't know what it is. First off, they don't know what esports is. That's a big problem that we're facing. That we're trying to solve. And two, there's another gaming club on campus, but it's like all gaming. Like it's like tabletop, like kind of like Dungeons and
Dude,
Dragons,
they had one of
Smash.
those at my college, and I
Mm,
was under the impression that we were playing COD and stuff, and it turned out to be that. And I was
yeah,
like, okay, I'm out.
yeah, that's the same thing that happened to me. So and then I found the esports club, and I was like, hey, yo,
Yeah, that's where you
what's
need
good? What's good?
to
Um, and then we actually, I'll pull this up. Actually, I have our attendance records right here because I've been keeping attendance. Our last meeting before we didn't have a meeting this past Thursday because I was sick with COVID, and everyone was kind of leaving for spring break, so there was really no point
yeah.
in having a meeting. So 2 weeks ago, um, let me pull this up. Okay, there was a total of 6 people in attendance, and 2 of those people were not board members, like our board members, right? 2 of them weren't, which is a record for us. So for this semester, based off of what I've been keeping track of. So It's lovely days out here. Lovely days.
Hey, but listen, in like 20, 30 years, when college esports is basically as big as regular college sports, we're gonna be like we're like the pioneers.
It's true.
Like
It's true.
because like I remember like when I did presentations because we were supposed to do presentations and stuff in my English class when I was a senior. And I didn't really know what to do, but like I asked my teacher if I could do stuff about like gaming and esports and she approved it. So I was like, okay, cool. Like this is great. I can do something that I've already looked into a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was it was weird because like when I would do the presentations, it was like half the people were like interested, half the people didn't really know what to think about it. Like they thought it was weird, maybe they just didn't get it or whatever. But now it's like it's starting to become like everywhere. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I was talking about this stuff before it popped off.
Yeah. So we just built different, you know what I'm saying? We just built different. Um what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like, like I have goals obviously for this thing cuz like I'm set to be president, right? And I was watching what was I watching yesterday or 2 days ago? I was doing my homework and I was watching in Around the Bar by Hitch. He did it with Noisy Butters, who I happen to have watched for a long time.
Dude, I love Butters.
Me too. Dude, I love Butters. She's awesome. We have the same name. We're both named Hannah. So, yeah, cool. Butters, hit me up. We can do like a Hannah squad or something. Anytime. Positivity and happiness mixed with me. Uh, so I was watching the Around the Bar, and she was president of her esports club on campus, and she took it from 20 to like 200. So like I'm like, okay, well now it's my turn, um, to do that. I gotta keep up with the Hannah name, But she went to a really big campus, so I don't think I'm gonna get up to 200. But if we can get like a like 20 people to show up consistently.
Well, I mean, you have 6 is the record right now. Going from like 6 to 40 or 6 to 60 would be like the same kind of improvement.
Yeah. See, the thing is with our campus though, it's really hard to get high attendance like that. That is something with all the clubs on campus struggle with is high attendance. But we are the only hybrid club on campus. Like you can attend via Discord. That's the thing. That's our selling
I feel like
point.
it wouldn't be an esports club if you couldn't do Discord.
Yeah.
Things
So
like this are just baked into
yeah.
the club.
Yeah. So you can
Like it just
attend
has to happen.
like you can attend e-board meetings via Discord if you can't make it, which makes things a lot easier because you can still be there. So that's something we're trying this after spring break. So,
Yeah.
we gotta kind of figure it all out. But yeah, the college esports scene is booming, guys, and this is the time. We have a gaming dorm on our campus. We have these things called living learning communities where you like dorm with people that have similar interests as you, and supposedly you're supposed to have like events and stuff like that happening in the dorm related to your guys' common interest, right? um so there's a gaming one now. It had its first year this year. So we're trying to do stuff with that because it's dead.
I like that colleges are investing in this stuff though, because like I feel
it's
like 5 years ago, like most colleges would have just brushed it off because they
Yeah.
didn't think it would
Well,
work. And now it's like they actually want to try to like make it work.
they still brush it off. You really have to be like a nuisance. You really gotta be like a nuisance. You gotta like, because they make it so difficult, so people just give up. You know, because you have to contact this person, and then this person will tell you to contact another person, and then that person will tell you to contact someone else, and then you'll finally get to the person that you want to talk to, and they're like, you have to fill out
Yeah.
this 50-page form. Oh, cool, cute. If it wasn't for our current president having no life and such a hard, like he's such a drive, and I will have to commend him from this. He's not. I'm not. He. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how. because the red tape and stuff that you have to walk through, he's been like pushing through it for the past like year, and I can understand why he said when he's graduating he's tossing the baton and running as fast as possible. He's chucking the baton, sorry, and running as fast as possible. So, um,
Well, it would be cool if he went into like
well,
esports, which he probably won't. But
he's a communications major, and he is doing social media right now, and he actually is a social media manager for an esports team. It's a low level one, kind of like the syndicate, but they're doing pretty good. He
what
just
if you
started
got
though.
him to be our social media manager?
Yeah, but he's getting, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because I got Riz as our social media manager. And myself, who's been currently doing it. So I'm killing it.
Yeah, we're actually getting tweets out now.
Listen, man. COVID's a bitch. Alright.
Hey, listen, like just so the podcast knows, I told Tone that if she sent me the tweets and gave me the account information, I would do it if she wanted me to, and she told me she had it, and then we didn't tweet for like 3 days. So
Well, because I literally said I had it, and I got COVID. Literally the next
I'm
day.
just saying, I gave you I gave you all the help you could have needed,
I know.
and then we didn't tweet for like 3
I
days.
appreciate it. But I'm back on it now. Okay, I was on the brink of death. I still kind of am. But I'm back. Okay? Okay. Um, damn, we really went on like a rabbit hole of like college COD, which I feel like is pretty good though, because I mean it's kind of what it's a new wave, you know. It's this starting
I don't
out.
know. The only thing about college esports that I kind of like, I almost like, it's not that I don't like it. I just don't think it'll work the same as like, I don't know if there will ever be like like people bringing college players up to play in pro leagues unless it becomes a thing of you have to go to college and then play in the pros.
Mm-mm.
That'd be like the only way they would do it,
I don't think.
because I,
I think.
I don't know, because like it's just there's so many kids who are like 17, 18 that instead of putting them in college for a year like people like places like the NBA does, they would just rather than play on a pro team immediately if they're good enough. Like so like going to college doesn't really matter.
Okay, but hear me out on this. Um, some people they still want to get a degree. Like a lot of college pros, like a lot of COD pros have gone to college or they go to
That is
college.
true.
So
And they also go play on their respective college teams and destroy everybody.
yeah. So like, you know, and then with the high school esports circuit kind of increasing as the years goes on, it'll make scouting for players easier because
I don't know. I
and
could
some
see
people
in the
don't want to.
future pro teams looking at like one, like maybe like a few college players, but I don't think there will ever be like, for example, like I don't think we'll ever have like a CDL draft where we just bring college players in mass to the CDL. I don't
Well,
think that would
absolutely
happen.
not. No, I think it'll be a more small scale kind of thing. Like, hey, you know, you send out a recruiter to like these championship events or whatever, these high school LAN
Yeah.
events, and then they try to bring in students. That's probably
Well,
the
I think the only reason why you
regular.
wouldn't see a draft like that is because you only need like 4 or 5 people, maybe a couple subs. It's not like you have a bench that you regularly go to when you play.
Yeah.
Like so I would never really see uh like a draft for
Mm.
like teams. The only time I would probably see that is if, well, and this probably wouldn't happen because COD esports is not gonna it might not ever die like this unless things get really bad. But the only time I could ever see a draft like that is if, say, like a lot of the people that are playing in challengers now just quit, and um, then like the CDL was like, "Hey, we're expanding. We're gonna add 4 more teams." I could see them maybe like going to college players for that, but like that's like a super rare circumstance in
No,
esports.
they go to challengers for sure though. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, cause like, I don't know. A lot of what the college circuit is just having fun. Like that's like the main thing. It's just a place to have fun. Like there's no like
Yeah,
prizes
I
or
can kind
anything.
of tell
You just get like a
because
title. There's really
I
no
can kind of
prizes or
tell
anything.
because I feel like a lot of like, and this is not like to slight college COD or anything like that. Like I don't mean anything when I say this, but it's like the way that I've seen a lot of like discrepancies between how good players are on teams and like how good players are in general. I feel like a lot of these college COD players are just people that weren't good enough for challengers. Like, because there are some teams where like a guy will go like 44-9, but his
Mm-hmm.
teammate will go like 3-30. And
Yeah,
it's like, how are these two people on the same team?
because it's the college. It's like college sports. Like this is kind of like the thing where I think like it doesn't have to lead to like professional play, you know? Because like I can guarantee you most, if not all, of the people that play sports on my campus right now, after they're done with school, they will not be playing their sport anymore, like in a competitive sense, other than like pickup games and like
Or they go to something else.
yeah, or let's say go to like graduate school, you know? So
But
like
it, like that's kind of like, and this is like a little bit of a tangent, but it's kind of, I've just been seeing this from watching NASCAR this year. They've started highlighting the people that are on the pit crews, and I'm noticing how many college athletes that played like baseball or basketball or football that weren't like good enough to play in the pros that have went to be on NASCAR pit crews. Like it's
mhm.
crazy. There are so many college people that play sports in college that like they have all this strength and all this speed and athleticism and they couldn't do anything else, but NASCAR was like, "Oh, you can work on the pit crew."
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's like something else to do during college. It's like a social thing. That's why right now it's just a club and not like an actual sanctioned thing by the college. And
Dude,
then
see,
you
that
get
would be
like
so hard for me because, like, in my head, like, I would want the esports team to be like as good as possible.
yeah,
And
I
if we were
do.
playing with a bunch of people who just wanted to have fun, I'd be like, dude, if we're not winning, like, I gotta find new people.
Yeah, but the thing is your options are limited. You got to take what you can get when it comes to college competitive play. Like
Yep,
I mean, you were
and
talking
that's
about
part of why I don't think there would ever be a draft for
mm,
professional esports or anything like
no.
that. Like, there might be a couple college players come up, but
I think it's more of just I don't know. I feel like it'll develop more and more as the years go on. I mean, like this college COD thing is pretty wide, and
dude, I did not realize a college club was as big as this. I
yeah,
was like, dude,
it's pretty big, and it's only these things are only growing, you know, because more
yeah,
people
it's
want to
only gonna get
be
bigger.
so because there's more people like Butters and myself are becoming presidents of these clubs in
Yeah, y'all
school,
are the pioneers.
and shout out Jason for setting me up because thank you because it was a real hot mess. From what I've heard, it was a hot mess. Um, but like I have like dreams of it. Like I want to do things, and then you just gotta have like it's these people that have like the hunger. You know what I mean? To go through all this red tape. To go through all these red tapes and like um do the things that are necessary to
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
grow.
lead it, you got to be ready.
Yeah.
You got to be motivated and have the
Mhm.
drive to do it.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's equipped like mentally to lead something like that.
Yeah. Because
Um,
it's a lot of no. It's a lot of people not showing up at first. It's a lot of disappointment at first.
well, I mean, that's kind of the same thing with like the syndicate. Well, it's
Yeah.
not like people have been doing it intentionally or whatever, but I feel like a lot of stuff we end up doing in the future will just be like there will be no's, there will be people that don't show up, there will be people that get dropped because of whatever reason. Like,
Mhm.
but like stuff like that has to happen for the org to grow, and you have to push through it.
Yeah. So it's you got to be able to, deal with people not showing up or no's, and that's okay. You know, not everything's going to be a hit off the rip, especially when you're growing something from literally nothing. So,
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, especially for like the leaders of like whether it's a college esports club, an org, whatever, is like not hurting, is like not being afraid to hurt people's feelings. Like
mm,
if somebody's not showing up, like don't be afraid to drop them. Like like they might feel bad about it, but it's kind of their fault. Like you want to run a tight ship, and like if they're not ready for it, then like you just need to like find somebody who is.
when it comes to college clubs, though, don't drop them. Keep them, because you're not going to find a replacement. You're not.
Just keep them so they just don't ever show up.
You're just not gonna find a replacement. So it's don't tell people no unless they like give you a reason to.
That's a crazy thing that I've learned is like college clubs seem to be way like less popular than like high school clubs. So I feel like everybody was in a club in high school
I
for the most
wasn't.
part, but like in college, it's like nobody wants to be in a club. It's like everybody's just like, I just want to do my work and get out of there.
I feel like it's the opposite for me. Like there were like the clubs at my school. Nobody. Like I was in robotics club, 5 people, and I went to school of like 1,000. You know.
I guess it depends on the club because there are some clubs that like everybody just wants to be in, and there are some clubs that are like either really niche or just like nobody really cares about that. Like they're just like, nah.
I also feel like it depends on the school too, because for my school, sports was like a big thing. So everybody did sports. All the sports teams were full every year,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
every season.
Especially since we live in like the on like the east coast of the U.S.
Yeah.
The East Coast is like way more sports oriented. I feel like
Hmm.
everybody wants to play football or basketball or baseball or something.
Yeah.
Like,
So my sports teams were always packed. For here, it's like in this area, soccer is really big. Soccer is really really big. Soccer teams are always packed. There's always like huge cuts.
well,
And
I mean, I
even
live in I wouldn't exactly call it a southern state 'cause it's kind of in the middle, but I'm way more south oriented than north. But like here, it's like football is king. Like that's
mm,
like everything.
well, yeah,
And like
because you're by the Bible
basketball is
Belt.
like a close second. Baseball and stuff like that nobody really cares about. And the recently in the last like 10 years or so there's been like there's starting to be like a bunch of people wanting to do soccer, and
Hmm.
it's kind of like something that's like growing, but like it'll never surpass football. Football is always going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always football teams for every school, but I feel like, especially like girls soccer, I feel like is really big. Like my
Yeah, I feel
college.
like girls soccer is way bigger than like men's soccer and
Oh
all
yeah,
that. Like I feel like girls just gravitate to soccer more than any other sport.
it's they do it. It's amazing. Like I watching because Riss played soccer in high school, so going to watch their games and everything. Like it was like these people are impressive. Like they're and then you watch the guys play and it's like, you know.
Yep, that's usually how it goes. Like
Mm.
because I don't know. I guess it's like for I think for like women it's usually soccer and basketball are the top two. And I think the reason why guys don't seem to be well, not that guys don't seem to be as good as soccer, but like you never see very good like guy soccer teams in high school or college is because all the best like athletes that are guys are playing football and basketball and stuff like that. They don't really play soccer. So like you get all the really good girls to play soccer, but the guys are not that great.
Well, the thing is like my college, we don't have a football team. Our big thing is like hockey for some reason, because it's like the
Dude,
North. We're
Dude,
so close to Canada, I
I
guess.
college hockey, bro. I didn't even know that was a thing until like a few years ago. Like that has to be like one of the smallest sports in colleges.
It's really big on my campus for some reason. Like the seats are full every weekend for these matches.
It might be like it might be a thing where it's like that's the best team you have, so that's what everybody wants to support.
No, it's
Because
not
like
though.
in my school, like football was king, but anytime like our wrestling teams were always really good, and everybody always showed out for that.
No, like our teams are really good. Like our our teams usually win like the state title for like the school. They
That
usually
was
win
how
like the
our wrestling
championships
team
for the
was.
state, and they go off and compete against all the other states. Like our my Riss and I, we roomed with two softball players last year, and went they won the New York circuit, and then they went and played in Texas against all like the college teams, like the big college teams.
Yeah.
So like that was the softball team. The swimming team does it. The swimming team wins like every year. Um,
The only team we have that's that good is like the wrestling team. Like it's kind of crazy because I mean, granted, it's probably never going to change. That everybody loves football the most, but like our football team is usually never that great.
oh
Like
my god, my high
we're
school
not like
football team sucked.
horrible, but we're usually just barely making playoffs, losing in the first or second round. But like our wrestling team is like state every year, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah, yeah. My high school football team was like the thing. Like everyone was football. No, football and soccer were like the two big things. Because like the superintendent loved football, but everybody else was like soccer. So like you know, and then like the typical like high school like football guys are king kind of cliche or whatever.
yeah.
But our football team like was not popular. Like it was people on the football team were not popular. The only person that
Dude,
was
what I
popular
find that
was
I
like the
think I
quarterback.
don't know if this is just my area or what, but what I find that's so funny is like the most popular football teams are the ones that suck.
Oh my god, ours sucked so bad. I remember. Well, the thing is like our modified, like our middle school football team, undefeated, right? Undefeated, never lost a game for like 2 years straight, right? So like we thought like with us coming up to high school that like the football team would do better. It did. It made it to the finals for the first time in like years.
And then they lost.
Years. And then they lost, yeah. Pretty bad. They got creamed. Like they got
Dude, and the bad
it
part
was
is
like
like for
21 to
kids that are in
6.
high school, that probably ruins their motivation. Like they don't want to play after that. If they made it all the way to finals and lost, like
I think they lost like 21 to 6 and it was just like oh. And then they got like this brand new field when we had like cuz our school was under construction literally the entire time I went to school there.
oh lord.
And so they got like this brand new field and like they lose still. Like it's so funny. But it's used as like a football field and like a lacrosse field and like we have girls flag football now at my high school. Um so that's cool.
Have you ever had like anybody like from your school that has went pro in the sport or like been really popular,
Yes.
or do
Yes.
they just not go very far?
There was a kid that my brother played baseball with. He actually was drafted for the Mariners. He went and played the Mariners right after right out of high school. Like he didn't even go to college.
Dude, see, like I only know one guy, and he didn't go to my school, but he played against my school because we were in
Mm-hmm.
the same division. And he literally, I don't know if I sent it to you like last year. I know I probably didn't this year, but like he hasn't really played in the NBA very much, but he has won the NBA slam dunk contest 2 years in a row now.
Damn.
Like he's insane.
Yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure that's the only guy though that like went off to pro that I know of that went to school with me. He was like a senior when I was a freshman, cause he was a year younger than my brother. Um,
Yeah.
so he literally like it was a really big deal. Like he was like drafted to play for the Mariners like right out of high school too, which was crazy. It was like unheard of for that baseball team, but like our baseball team was really good. The coach he was that was like the only thing he coached, and he like coached it for years and years and years and years. So because it's all his he had like 4 sons, and they all play baseball. So he coached it from when his oldest son was on the team, which was his oldest son's like 32 now or something like that, to when his youngest son, like till now when his youngest son is on the team. So it's like, whew, you know, like the dude, he lives and breathes high school basketball. Like not basketball, but baseball, and he coaches basketball, I think too. I lied. He doesn't just coach one; he coaches basketball too. But yeah, he went pro. I don't know if he's still pro. I don't know if he like still is in that, but he was for when I was in high school. It's like a big thing. The Seattle Mariners, I think that's what it is, yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna look him up now because I kind of want to know.
Yeah, I'm about to send you a clip of this dude.
Ah, yep. He still plays for the Mariners. He's a pitcher.
Dude, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like right out of high school. Like didn't even go to college or anything. I kind of want to see this. Let me see here. Let me see if he's actually like still on it, because on Instagram it says he is. But he's not on the roster though. Hmm. He's not on the roster though. On their official.
There you go. I sent you the clip.
All right, hold on. I'm pulling it up.
This guy literally grew up in a town like half an hour from me, and he's won the dunk contest twice in a row. What's crazy is like nobody knew about him, but like the going into when he got picked to do it last year, like I knew he was gonna win it. I was like, bro, he's got it. Everybody was like, I don't know this guy. Is he really that good? I was like, he's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot take the ball out of someone's hand, toss it to yourself, and dunk it. Look at that is incredible.
Damn.
Look at him. That is
Damn. He just tossed it to himself and. Nice.
Dude, the last one was crazy because he jumps over Shaq, and Shaq is 7'1". This guy's 6'2".
All right. Here's the Shaq one, I think. No.
Shaq one's at the end.
Yeah, there it is. I think. Look at that. Boom. He won. His stuff definitely dragged on Shaq's hand. I know it. I know it. I know it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like last year they picked him, and I knew he had it, and like this year when they said he was coming back, I was like, yeah, he's got it again. Y'all might as well not even have a contest. Like he's got it. Like you just like if he enters, you just give him the trophy like immediately. Like you don't even need to have a contest.
Oh man.
But yeah, that guy grew up like half an hour from me, and he played against my high school. Probably dropped 50 or 60 points on him. If I had to guess.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I could be wrong in saying this because I don't know for sure. So I didn't follow him that much, but I feel I have a feeling like I heard one time that he scored like 80 points in a game. It doesn't surprise me
Holy shit.
because of how good he was compared to like everybody else.
Honestly, that makes sense though. Usually that happens in like the high school area. There's always that one
Well, because
kid.
like like I said, basketball's like second to football, but it's way far behind. Like our like people's basketball teams around here usually aren't that great, but like he was insane for like our area. Like he took that. I think that team like either made it to finals in state or won state because of him.
Damn. I mean, that's usually how it goes though. There's always that one kid on the team that's just way better than everybody else, and the coach is just like, get the ball to John.
I
Get the
do
ball to
know in
John.
high school he averaged like I think he averaged like 35 or 40 points. So I mean
Damn.
he was absolutely carrying his thing.
Nice. All right. I think we're going to call it there for the podcast today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button, follow the streams. We stream this live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button because I would really appreciate it very much. Mucho, mucho, mucho. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I have been your host, Tonich. You're with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Peace.